This is the promised eyelash tutorial. I'm going to start with what you need. Pair of tweezers. I need eyeglasses. Not everybody does. A magnifying mirror. This one's a 10 times. Super strong hold eyelash adhesive. I like the black one. Pair of scissors. I like to have a spoolie just in case, and Q-tips just in case, and water to dip them in. So I like to use these eyelashes. I got them from Amazon. You can see they're sort of a cat eye shape, and they're called a demi-wispy. Also, they have a black band. You can also get them in clear. Either way is fine. And I also like to use these ones. I like to use them together. They look crazy. I don't use the whole lash here. I just use about 2 or 3 sections at a time. So this is my main eyelash, but it's too big for my eye. So I get off a set of them with a tweezer to start, and then I carefully pull it up because they like to stick a little aggressively. And I don't want to tear the eyelash apart. So there's 2 of those. Okay, so I'll take these and I start by pulling the adhesive that they used to stick them onto the container off. So if you look, you can see there's shiny glue. So I will just pull that off. Now, if I were doing this on top of my eyelid, which I am not, I would, I grip this end and then I sort of rub my finger along to pull off little bits of glue so that it's not so sticky, because I don't want to stick it to my eyelid. I want to stick it to my eyelash. That helps a little bit with length because I don't really want to look like I'm wearing brushes on my eyes. I do have pretty aggressive eyelashes with these, but I don't like them to look like brooms. So I do that until I've got what feels like most all the adhesive off the back on each one that I'm going to use. I don't know if you can tell that's glue peeling off. It's kind of like a rubber cement. I don't even know. Some people probably don't even know what that is. It used to be so common. I don't feel like it is anymore. So many competing glues out there. Can you see the little bits of glue stuck to my finger? So I end up with a bunch of little balls of adhesive on the table. Just going to sweep those off. Throw them away. Okay, and then I like to use 2 or 3 sections for each eye of these ones. So I prefer them shorter. So on the, I start on the inside edge. I don't know if you can tell, there's one edge that's longer than the other. So I like this side best. And I just use them, here you can see a lot of glue. See that? So I take the glue off this one next. Off it goes. Just pinch. You're trying to hold the eyelash so it doesn't disintegrate while you rip the adhesive off the back of it. Okay. And then this one. So some eyelashes come with a black band, and some of them will even call it black band. And others will come clear, like on a monofilament fishing line. I have tried millions. I usually alter them. It tends to be kind of hard to get some that don't look like they aren't yours. So that's one reason I like to have the scissors. And I also like to glue them underneath my eyelid, because then eyelash, you don't see as much of the job you did of gluing them, whether they're crooked or squampus, and you don't see the you don't see as much as the adhesive. Okay, so then I don't know if you can see, there's like a little raggedy piece at the end that looks poorly processed. I will snip that off with just the tip of the scissor. Sometimes you just have a little leftover band. Those can bother your eye, and they also can look funny. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 sections. So I'm just going to go right here and snip the band. And I can put the rest back in there. And 2 on this side. I want the short ones. That these, when they're I'm at the what's meant to be the inside corner of the eye, and I'm not going to use it there. Then I can. They're the same length. So anyway, so step 1 is to get the adhesive off. Step 2 is to cut off any weird pieces. Do you see that little bit of tail there on the band? I'm just going to snip that off. These ones are going to be used the whole band. But my eye is not big enough to need them. Oop. Okay. But they do have a little tail here and there. Okay, so these ones I cut into thirds, and I like to start at the smaller inside corner piece. So I'll cut off like 3 sections for the first. See that? 3 little sets of lashes. And then I cut what's left in half, which in this case is that I'm getting 3 sets each. And I keep track of where the middle and the end is and which eye it's going to go onto. This one just looks really weird, this original. I don't like that. Okay, it's okay now. All right. And then on the second set, same thing. Section out 3 little pieces. I think all I did was show you my hand there. And then cut this. So we have 3 sections of 3 of the one kind of lashes, and 1 section of 2 from the other kind. Okay, so then eyelash curler, and I like to curl my own eyelashes first, and that's where I start using this. I get my eyelashes as close to the base as I can get, and then pinch and kind of pulse them, hold it, and then tilt it up a little more as I kind of release it and walk it out to the end. I wonder if you can tell. Let me see. Curled lash and not. Okay, and then this one. Right at the base. Pulse and hold. And then sort of pulse and walk it out while I just elevate the eyelash curler. So curl my eyelashes. Then, and that's as aggressive as I get about it. Then I worry about the smaller piece, There's the two sections. The reason I use the two kinds is because, oh, I guess my arm's not even in the, where did it go? Ah, there it is. Okay, so the reason I'm doing two kinds is this kind has sort of a dramatic up, down, lashes, no lashes, and it sort of exaggerates the wispiness of the lash. And this kind has sort of some crosshairs, but it's not quite so bald in between. And I sort of like the overlap. So next I get the eyelash adhesive. This is a pretty old one, so it's kind of clumpy, but that means it sets up faster, and I kind of prefer that. It's got a wand, like a brush, and I just get my mirror and I will draw adhesive all the way underneath the lash line on the hairs themselves. I'm trying not to get it on my skin or my waterline. I'm trying to get it on my lash. So I use magnifying mirror to do that. And I will do that to both eyes, and I sort of just tap it. I don't know if you can see. I try not to get it onto the actual, like all the way out to the end of the lash, which is what I did here. That bugs me. That's one of the reasons I want tissues or Q-tips, cotton swabs available. So I'm just tapping it. Ooh, that went deep. This is kind of hard to do on camera. Get back in there. Can't even see the hole. Okay, that went, I don't know if you can see, that went way under my, almost touching my eyeball. I don't really want it to touch my eyeball. It's going to start watering and have a soupy mess. I want it to touch just the hairs, if I can. It's okay if it touches the waterline a little bit. The idea is that you're not putting things into your eye. And it's going to cling better because it's not something wet, it's hair. So I try and get a decent amount of glue there. Then I do the other eye. I find that especially at the beginning, it's better to tap than to drag it. And as I build up a little bit of glue, I can drag it better. Okay, so that's what under the eye looks like. Okay, then this is where I need my glasses. I get this smaller section of the bald, not bald lash, and I hold it with the tweezer, just get a good grip on part of the hair. And then I'm going to put, this is, the back is where you would normally put it, but I'm going to put it on this side where the band is, right here, glue. Because when you put glue on the lash and on the lashes, it sticks together almost like they're magnetic, makes much less skill necessary. And then also, it stays on better. So I just get a little bit and I stick it inside. Just tap it along the band of the lash. I don't know if you can, blurry, blurry, blurry. So right along here, just right there. And I set that aside, especially if you have a new tube of adhesive. You really want to set it aside for a second while you work on the next one. So that when you put them together, they're not drippy, wet, smeary, slidey. Right, so I just sort of get that on there. Okay, then going back to the one I glued first and the eye that I glued first. Get hold of my lashes real good, my tweezer. Don't want to lose the one sitting here on my desk. And then I'm going to put it under my eyelash, and I like these ones on the far corner. And not totally, don't go cheat it in just a little, like a hair or two, or you'll feel like you're being poked. So I try and get it right about there. But you got to make sure your tweezers aren't coated in adhesive from other projects, or it will not come off the tweezer and stick to your eye. And mine is this little eyelash adhesive from last time. Okay, so I'm gonna put it right there and just sort of tap it. So that's the outside corner. Okay, then I go to the other one I just glued. Get a good grip on it. Grab my magnifying mirror. And again, not right deep into the corners, just a couple hairs away. And just tap it there. And that grips really good just because you already glued it, right? On both sides. The glue glues it to itself. Okay, then I get the outside third of the other kind of eyelashes, which I sometimes will trim them down if I think they're too long, depending on what brand I got. And I glue them as well. Same way on the the curly back side. Not where most of the manufacturers want you to put it. And I set those aside, and then I glue the other one. This time I started on this eye. No reason why you should do that. You just want to adhere them as they as you glue them. Now, because I've already got some lashes there and they've got adhesive on the back but not on the underside, and I want it to stick glue to glue, I'm now going to put some on the lash section I just glued on. Again, just tapping along as though it were my own natural lash. Tapping, dragging, whatever, so that it will not be dry, it will be glued. So we're sticking glue to glue. Now these are long enough that if I was to just put them butted one to the other where I cut them, then my eyelash would end on my nose because of how wide they are. My eyes are just not as wide as that, and I think most people's aren't. So I usually overlap them by maybe three or four hairs when I'm stacking on the one that's going to be for the whole eye, but I start at the back and I just put them on what I've already got there. But I don't know if you can tell, it's gonna bypass that by a little bit. Oh, see? Sticky tweezers. Trying to just line it up under what's already there and maybe forward just a little bit of that. So here's like the double and here's just the one. Okay, other eye. Same idea. Okay. Now, like I said, they're going to be too long and they're going to overlap a little bit. So the next section, the middle section, I again need to put a little bit on the section I already put there, but probably maybe half of the section that's already there. I'll put glue. And then I also like to refresh what I already had in place. It just gives it more strength. Okay. Now I'm going to do the middle section, and I'll wear these. I mean, this takes a lot of time if you were just going to do this every day for your makeup. I feel like it's too much time spent. But since I don't do it every day for my makeup, I do it. I can, if I do a bad job, they're off in 3 days. If I do a good job, it could take 7. So I usually get 5 to 7 days because I've been doing it for so long. So now I'm gluing the back of the middle section of lashes, which you already saw how I do that. Gluing it along the back of the lash. I'm no good at video editing, so you're going to get what you get. Okay, so one side is glued. And now the other side. Sometimes when it's clumpier glue, I'll put it on and scrape it off with its own brush a little bit, which is where I'm at with this. I don't know if you feel like the older your tube of mascara gets, kind of the easier it is to get it on the lashes and not all over your face. That's kind of true with the glue too, so I don't go, oh, it's dried yet, drying out, goodbye. I usually give it a minute. Okay, now I'm gonna overlap because I guess it's actually like by a full section, how there's 3 sections here, about 1 full section actually is overlapping. And that keeps you from looking bald in between, but it also makes your lash strip fit your eye. Sometimes if I want them to go, I'll curl them beforehand. They are kind of curly. I'm not doing that today. I usually grab them by the middle section to sort of give me a, and I sort of try to attach the middle first usually. Okay, last section. We're nearing the finish line. Yay! Excuse me. Still getting over a cold. Okay, gluing just the corner and about halfway along the most recent section. Okay, and now last little shorty inner corner lashes, gripping them in the middle and gluing them on. Oh, I need glasses for this. I don't. Where did I put them? Okay. I don't see it very well without. When it's fresh, you'll easily get a bunch of glue on there. And when it's sort of clumping a little bit, you'll have to work at it a little bit more. Okay, grabbing the middle section of the last piece, gluing the band. I think that's enough. We will see. Okay, last. Sticking to my finger. Let go. That's the thing about the glue. If you get it where you don't want it, it starts just even a little tiny bit will grab onto things. This is kind of, it's so much like a rubber cement. You can kind of just scrub at it and like, see that? If I just rub tissue against it, get that off. I think I saw some on my, yeah, right there. Just, right? Okay. If I make a big mess on my face with it though, I'll grab a Q-tip and get it wet and it tends to come off a little easier. Okay, last section. Again, there's a little overlap. It really does. The glue just sticks to the glue and it doesn't take that much skill. If you've got glue on the lashes and on your eye, it doesn't take very much skill. Okay. Let me see if I can show you where I'm putting it. That's another thing with the black glue. It works as like a tight lined eyeliner, but it also shows you where your glue is, so you know where to put your lashes. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I do last. Moving the camera. Okay. Last, because I want this to really stick, I'll take my tweezers and pinch along the lash line from the like I get the tweezers so that the eyelashes are in the center, and just go squeeze, 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 because I'm trying to like reinforce that it's glued. It's kind of like pressing down. See, it's so gluey that it's like, let go of my lashes. Oh, let go. Okay. There's that side. Let's see if I got glue all. Especially where they sort of overlap. And at the very front and the very back corner of the eye. That one looks a little bit. Now, these have been known to come off because I didn't glue them very well, or because I put too much face cream on or something and it's sort of delaminated from my own eyelashes. And if it's loose from my eyes, then I will peel it off like in one piece. And then they're super easy to glue back on. But I do that usually if it's been just 3 or 4 days and it's coming off at the corners or something, then I'll go, oof, I'm not going to be able to do that, glue it back on very well, so I'll just carefully tease it off. I don't want to pull my own eyelashes out, and then I'll just put glue on the lash line, put glue on the back of the thing, and just stick it back on. I don't tear it apart and begin again. So there is my finished lash, and these ones are just New Cali from Amazon. This one was just something I found at AliExpress, and I'm pretty sure you can find a similar lash pattern where it's bald, not bald. And you can see down here, this is what's left of the set I used this time. So this would last me a really, really long time. And I don't think they look natural. They look like I've got gallons of mascara on without all the clumping. But when I close my eyes, you think, well, how did she do that? Because there's no strips showing. So if you want to know their faults, I have to go like, look, can you tell their faults? And as they grow out, you can see it a little more, like you'll get makeup on the underside of the glue strip or something. If I'm worried about water, like let's say that it's still a little tacky here, I will get a Q-tip wet, which I just did, and just run it along. Somehow it seems to like sort of go. Don't be sticky. Just to have it like damp. I mean, like, I don't know if I can show you, like, see, it doesn't feel sticky, but this side still is. So if I go like this, the little water, anywhere that I put glue that I didn't end up sticking a lash because of my overlapping thing, no longer feels sticky. Look. It's not transferring, I don't think. I have to put my glasses on to know for sure. There you go. That's how I do my lashes.